Hello everyone, my name is Jaden Morales and this is
William Tate.
we are in group 12 and we are in class ISAT B104 and today our project will be about the relationship between marijuana use and mental health in grade school students. The Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System is a variety of surveys conducted by the CDC to determine prevalence of health behaviors in grade school students. Our hypothesis for this project is that students that use marijuana will not have difficulty concentrating.
A null hypothesis is a hypothesis that includes variables which have little to no correlation with each other. Likewise, an alternative hypothesis is one that has variables which have high correlations to each other. Now, in our project, our null hypothesis was two factors: marijuana use and ability to concentrate. Although it's true marijuana use does directly affect one's ability to concentrate, that's not the point we're trying to convey. The two factors in our hypothesis were 1, marijuana use, and 2, ability to concentrate based on mental, physical, or emotional problems like Q concentrating states. These problems are what separates our null hypothesis from being any other hypothesis. We're trying to find out how marijuana use correlates to the factors which affect one's ability to concentrate, not how marijuana directly affects one's ability to concentrate.
Our purpose for this project is to identify if there is a correlation between marijuana use and one's ability to concentrate. If a correlation is found, we will be identifying if it is beneficial or not. We have conducted our research from the 2019 National YRBS dataset. We will be using Python to analyze and visualize the data we retrieved. The questions we will be using consist of Q45. During your lifetime, how many times have you used marijuana? Q47. During the past 30 days, how many times have you used marijuana? And Q concentrating, which asks, because of a physical, mental, or emotional problem, do you have serious difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions? We retrieved the data by downloading the 2019 YRBS dataset. From there, we used Microsoft Access and winnowed the data down to fit relevant parameters. We used this SQL query code to do so. Next, we transferred the spreadsheet into Microsoft Excel. Finally, we read the file into Python to begin analyzing the data. In Python, we used the libraries Seaborn, Pandas, and Matplotlib to formulate our graphs. Now we will look at the code that we used to create these graphs. We were inspired by certain other groups to make the code as user-friendly as possible. We put the code we used for the graphs into functions, and from there we implemented a while loop to allow for user input. We also used input validation to ensure the user's input worked. For example, if the user inputs a string where an integer should go, they'll be prompted for re-input where otherwise an error would occur. We were able to create the visualized data through multiple YouTube videos and other online websites which are listed in the description. Once we understood how to create the graph, we were then able to customize them to be more user-friendly and visually appealing. Most of the changes were cosmetic, like font size, color schemes, and titles. Since the YRBS dataset used numbers to represent the answers, for example, 0 for yes or 1 for no, we used ticks from the Matplot library to change the tick marks to what they actually represent. Once the function is ran, the user will be prompted the list of graphs we used and can choose the one they'd like to see by simply inputting the integer or number next to each one.
For example, once you run the code and are prompted the list of functions that we have, if you want to find out the correlation between marijuana use and ability to concentrate, for example, all you have to do is find the number which is attached to it, put the number of the function you want to see right there, and then click enter, and the function or graph attached to that function will show up above in the plots area. When winnowing the data from the Microsoft Access document, our SQL query code extracted demographic-based questions. We also compared our project's dataset questions to these demographic-based ones, which were found in the 2019 YRBS dataset. For example, in our heat map, which is number 5 right here, if I just run it real quick, you can see some of those demographic-based questions such as age, sex, and weight. Now, other unused ones consisted of race 7, which asks the student which race they are, Q obesity, which simply asks the question if the student is obese, etc. This graph in particular is important because the majority of our results are based on these two alone, because they directly compare the questions or the significant questions that relate directly to our project the most. Now, the amount of time students smoked marijuana or used marijuana the last 30 days compared to difficulty concentrating. Those who have responded to have used marijuana 0 times can be seen as essentially a control group. Out of those students, less than half of those who responded no to having difficulty responded yes. However, students who have reported to have used marijuana, in each instance, that ratio is noticeably higher, especially the more you go up. Looking at the amount of time smoked in a lifetime compared to difficulty concentrating, students who have smoked or used marijuana 100 plus times is nearly equal to those who responded no. Whereas in the control group, it's maybe not even 40%. Going back to the poster, the graph we showed in Python is the same graph shown in figures 4 and 5. The results show in those figures that students, again, who have used marijuana generally responded yes to Q concentrating more than students who have not. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, regular use of marijuana can lead to dependency and withdrawal symptoms, which can worsen one's anxiety and mental health. This could explain why students who have reported to have used marijuana are also more likely to report difficulty concentrating or when making decisions. Education, especially in high school, is an important experience for students to try new things and push their limits. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, youth marijuana use is correlated with suicidal ideation and behavior, poor school performance, increased high school dropout rates, and negative effects on male fertility. High school is a time for trying new things, but some of those things, like drug use and marijuana use, can lead to developing harmful habits and health-compromising behaviors. There is a direct and heavy relationship between marijuana use and mental health. However, it's not beneficial as we previously thought in our hypothesis. Although it's true some may claim to use marijuana to cope with anxiety and stress, and although that claim may have a lot of backing and truth to it, we're not trying to say marijuana doesn't have any benefits. If you remember, Q concentrating refers to mental as well as physical and emotional problems that may hinder one's ability to concentrate. CBD and marijuana can help relieve anxiety, physical pain, and stress, but that should only apply to adults. According to Mayo Health Clinic, marijuana use in adolescents can lead to learning problems, memory, coordination, reaction time, and judgment. Marijuana use has reached an all-time high in 2021, and its increasing prevalence within the use should be more known. Grade school students, no matter the case, should not be a part of those who use marijuana. It's imperative that we understand both the benefits and negatives of using it, and come to a compromise as a society to resolve the debate regarding its use across the United States.